Do you feel like confidence is maybe not in your root nature? It just doesn't feel natural to you. It feels like something, a mask that you have to put on in different situations. It doesn't have to be that way. You can integrate confidence to be naturally part of who you are, regardless if you feel like you're extroverted or introverted. Those are simply terms to describe whether you gain or lose energy when you're talking with people. It's not about whether you enjoy talking to other people. It's simply just whether you're gaining or losing energy. An introvert can love talking to other people, but he just doesn't gain energy from talking to those. The root cause of a lack of confidence, whether you realize it or not, is that you're relying on external validation, meaning you're going into every interaction doing something, hoping to get a specific reaction, hoping that people are going to react a specific way to you. And sometimes you don't even realize that this is where you're coming from. You might think that you're being naturally who you are, pushing out your authentic self without realizing that at the core root of the intention that you're coming to an interaction with is actually wanting something. When you have this essence of want, people can feel this off of you. And this creates a lack of confidence because it's also, people reflect what you are in a conversation. When you're constantly trying to get an external validation from somebody else, or you're relying on wins to boost you up, and when you lose, it pushes you down when you're going after your goals, you get stuck in the thinking phase, not in the doing phase. You notice people that have a lack of confidence are very much in their head. They're very much thinking about how to improve or how to do something better. It's very much heady energy. It's not a grounded essence that's coming forward. And the biggest difference between the thinking energy being stuck in the head and the doing energy is that the doing energy goes forward, fails, learns, and then goes and continues and tries again and learns from those failures. And it's in that learning, the recalibration, that process, that the confidence is built. Confidence doesn't come from theorizing. It comes from evidence. And evidence only comes from when you're taking action. A lot of us think that if we think about something hard enough, we conceptualize it, we theorize it, or we plan it out enough, that confidence will be afforded to us. But confidence is only going to be given to you, true confidence, when you've built up enough evidence for yourself to believe that you deserve that confidence. That's why the fake it till you make it method works, because you're faking the fact that you have confidence, which is then showing that you do have confidence. And that is giving you the evidence to say, oh, I do have confidence. And then the fake it till you make it goes away because now you've made it. Most people that lack that confidence lack the confidence lack the evidence because they are trying to avoid the discomfort. They just haven't taken the step forward. They haven't taken their sword and attacked the world yet. You can keep yourself stuck in a certain situation because you're overthinking, being too afraid to see what would happen if I put myself in this situation. We think of these grand, horrible situations that might happen if we do X or Y. And in reality, if we think about it, we would be able to handle that situation, regardless of how bad it is. It might feel crappy, it might feel weird, but we would survive and we could learn from that situation, especially if we play it out like that in our heads. That crappy situation that we're thinking of, we honestly could survive it and learn from it, but we don't put it into that perspective, and that we no longer want to push forward to actually tackle that situation. And in most cases, that horrible play-by-play scene that we make up in our mind is never actually going to happen in the first. But the magic of putting it in that frame of reference is that if we can deal with that shitty situation, we can also deal with the slightly uncomfortable situations that will give us the evidence that will then boost our confidence. You have to stop waiting for that feeling that confidence will come. Confidence has a price. It is like an object that has a price tag on it. And your currency to achieving or buying confidence is going through and being able to handle the discomfort, feeling that fear and doing it anyways. That is your currency to buying confidence. There is no other way that you're going to be able to haggle to get that confidence. You have to go and you have to put the action in first. You have to do it regardless of how you're feeling, and then re-coordinate. You feel that uncomfortability of taking action towards your goal, regardless of how confident or unconfident you feel. You have to take action towards going and talking to those people. And in doing that with those feelings of uncomfortability is what will allow confidence to be born within inside of you. If you reframe any situation into accepting that the bad situation might happen or the good situation might happen, you take away a lot of the importance. When you take away that level of importance from a situation, you take away the strong essence that fear has, and that also takes away then the stress and anxiety that comes along with the fear. When those three players, fear, stress, and anxiety, are off the playing field, they're not off completely, but are reduced in intensity, you can now move forward. And you can say, just screw it, I'm gonna do it anyways. If it goes bad, then it goes bad. I'll survive and I'll learn. And if it goes good, great. It goes good. And I now have more evidence to show that I can build that confidence. Even if it goes bad, there is a level of confidence that you gain from that as well. Because to be able to handle that situation requires confidence. It requires that type of person that can handle uncomfortability, which in itself builds that confidence in you. And if you're stuck at the moment with this lack of confidence, you need to start with small wins and acknowledging those small wins. Very often we put a lot of acknowledgement onto our failures. When something doesn't go well or we screw up, we put a lot of emphasis on beating ourselves up the fact that we didn't do something in the way that we wanted to. This reinforces the negativity in our mind, which then reinforces our lack of confidence. We need to pursue small wins and then put a lot of emphasis and acknowledgement on those wins to boost up our self-confidence. When you put acknowledgement on your small wins, you increase the amount of XP you get towards your self-confidence, just simply by acknowledging it and talking positively to yourself. The fact that you went out to do that thing doubles the amount of experience you get towards achieving that level of confidence that you. When you're trying to figure out how to be confident, when you're trying to do the fake it till you make it method of just going out, one of the things that can trap you or paralyze you or make confidence very difficult to intuitively achieve is a paralysis by analysis. When you look at a situation like, okay, this goal requires this, this, and this, and this. I need to do all of these things to a certain degree. And then regardless if I fail or I win, I'm going to gain confidence. Instead of overburdening yourself with all of these small decisions that need to be made in any situation, pick one thing that you're going to focus on. Disregard all of the other things. They will come later, but pick one thing that you're going to work on and focus on in that interaction or towards that goal. Pick that thing and then focus 100% on it. No matter how it turns out, that will be your main focus. And over time, as you build up the rest of the skills that you need to attain, in the process of building up those virtues in yourself is where success will be given to you, or is where confidence will be given to you. Even if all of the virtues, even if you hit everything on point, on paper you did, you stood up straight, you spoke with confidence, or you achieved your goal with the right decision making, even if all of those skills were given right to you, doesn't mean that there would be an essence of confidence within you. Because it's not about just having those things. It's about the fact that you were able to build those things in yourself. That's where confidence comes from. That's where confidence comes from. There are people that are very successful but aren't very confident. Just because they were able to achieve their goals or achieve certain things with certain people doesn't mean that they have that free-flowing air of confidence wherever they go. They might have it in one situation, but it doesn't convert over and transfer to the rest of life because they didn't build it up in themselves. It was just kind of handed to them. When you build that level of confidence by going through the uncomfortability, by paying the price for confidence, truly paying it, that's when it transfers over everywhere because it becomes who you are. It's not just in this small section of life. It is integrated into your self-image, your character of who you are. But even with all of this information, if you can't take that first step forward, if fear is a mental blockage for you for making that first step forward, it's not going to matter because it's the first step that matters the most. It's about taking the first step that's most important. So if you feel like fear is what is holding you back and you're not able to take that step because of fear, watch this video over here.